it's not, dubstep anymore. Maxing to -4 LUFS is not cool anymore. It's not a sound anymore. It's had its time. It's had its thing. Okay, now let's move on. Okay, and look at the importance of audio quality and maintaining the correct signal flow. If you have no idea what signal flow means, I encourage you to look at that as well. Now, I've mentioned this, I think in one of the more first few episodes. When we are doing these more creative transitions, it's important to take out the low end, because when you have a fader in and you play it and you've selected a cue point at a particular ending of a verse or something like that, usually there's a good amount of low-end contents. But even particularly, for example, we had before in progressive house, usually there's a very sort of big sort of whoosh low-end sort of white noise or like a downbeat to say, okay, it's finished, kaboof. And then with that kaboof, there's a lot of low end. And when you're bringing in something like this, when you want it to be very smooth into the next one, you don't want to play like and for the audience or for you to notice it. Like, okay, and all you hear is kaboof, you don't want that low end energy just coming in all randomly. Not only that, but it's difficult to control, and it just doesn't sound nice. It's not smooth. So it's important to take out the low end. Don't take all of it out, because then you're getting into a whole different. I noticed that a lot. I noticed that a lot when I watch for example, when I watch a lot of these the performances on YouTube and stuff like that. When I watch the performances, you cut all the low end and then you're mixing in the next track, and then that's like a big no-no. Even from electronic production standpoint, you never want to do that, because you're messing with frequencies and you're getting into a very, very gray, weird area. And particularly when you're recording something, you don't want all that low end out completely, because then you're getting into phasing issues, because you're pumping out. When you think about it, just think about it for a second. When you're smashing all this low end out, and then you're basically creating unnecessary phase issues. I won't get into that. It's a different topic, but you can look it up what I mean. And look at the importance of linear phase EQs. Why they're important. One great plugin is the FabFilter EQ, which I encourage you to have a look at. Look at what linear phase EQ means, why it's important. With that same token, you must apply that to DJing. You can't just hammer the channels up to max and it basically redlining and clipping. And then you're cutting out all the low end as well, which also increases the volume. So what happens in the end is just you're distorting, and you lose all that beautiful low end, and it just sounds disgusting. It's not dubstep anymore. Maxing to -4 LUFS is not cool anymore. It's not a sound anymore. It's had its time. It's had its thing. Okay, now let's move on. Okay, and look at the importance of audio quality and maintaining the correct signal flow. If you have no idea what signal flow means, I encourage you to look at that as well. At the fundamentals, you want to always make sure, okay, let's take out the low end, but it's important to take out only the required amount. So 45, perhaps at 90, and that's more than plenty. It's more than plenty to do what you need to do. Just hammering it down and just having all this crap in the middle and the high end, it's not cool. I'd rather I've been experimenting these days using more filters instead of the standards, cutting out the standard sort of pods of left and right. You're using a fader instead to naturally sort of curve, sculpt out the low end. It seems to work a lot better, and I encourage you to try that. But getting back to this, we're taking out some of that low end. We're taking out the required amount. Cool. So here, and we're back in. Let's show one more time. You'll notice we're going, okay? Now, since we've cut out a good amount of the low end, if you are someone who does want to cut, because in this sort of situation, okay, I would say, okay, no worries, you can cut it out completely. You can cut out all the way, right? Because it's not really playing, and then we're bringing in that low end before it even really starts playing. So that's okay. Cool. And again, keeping the faders down whenever possible. I think that in this case, I can't 100% see, but I think we have them already up, and that's okay because you can't notice any of the spill coming out of the low end. That most of it's out, and it gives you enough of space to do what you need to do. Cool. And so before you even notice that the low end's actually out, just before the vocal starts, we bring back the low end, we release all the effects, we create a nice, beautiful transition.